And so tell me, let's start with the name.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with it?
Mick Dog Boneyard?
Yeah.
Oh, look, you know, my real name's Mick Trembath, but that's about as kind of blues as a Toyota Corolla, really, isn't it? So
it is.
I kind of, you know, way back in the day, do you know, when I started playing, you know, we just gave each other stupid nicknames, and I said, oh, I wanted to be Mick Dog, I suppose, because I'm a massive fan of Hand Dog Taylor, and I thought as a little kind of homage, do you know what I mean? And then Mick Dog's Boneyard, well, that's kind of just, you know, sort of a nice junky kind of blues name, and it suits us. And you know, basically we had a gig coming up and we had to choose something, so that's about it really. It seems to have stuck, you know.
Okay, in 2014, so you haven't been doing it for long as the Boneyard?
No, sort of not long. I was sort of playing in a couple of other bands and doing some other projects, and then they all fell to bits, and so I just sort of went back to playing blues, which is the music that I really loved. I mean, I've been playing for, you know, 25 years and sort of played really everything, all sorts of styles of music, and you know, everything from jazz, improv to metal, but always loved blues. Always started off as blues, and it's always the music that I listen to. Everything else is kind of a bit of an excursion. Blues is coming home for me, so yeah, it was great to get back into it.
And you've got, like, your style is hill country, you know, you got the style of Junior Kimbrough, Burnside, you know, Mississippi Fred McDowell. When did you fall in love with that music, and how did you discover hill country?
I suppose it's a kind of a natural thing. Like I've always played in open tuning, so I've always played in open D and D minor. I couldn't make head and tail standard tuning. And if you fiddle around with it long enough, eventually the things start to make sense, you know, and when you start to approach those sort of blues things, you find very similar kind of artists. I was always enamoured with, you know, Booker White and John Lee Hooker and all those sort of players, you know, and you know, the gospel sort of players, you know, Lewis Overstreet and, you know, the sort of early Charlie Jackson, all those sort of players. And then that sort of hill country thing came about sort of almost by accident, like sort of fell into it, and then found that there were, and then discovered R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimbrough, and
wow.
And it was sort of just a...
What a great discovery.
It was an absolutely extraordinary thing, and just that hypnotic beat, and because we're just a two-piece, you know, that sort of guitar and drums thing, which works out, it's a fabulous economic model, it works out really well. You can make a lot of noise and play for a long time, and it's just great. It's got that great hypnotic sort of sound to it.
You know God will down here one day, oh, let him by his name, but he don't refuse to hurt God with a naked, oh, and a shame. Tell me who's that writing is John the Revelator? Who's that writing, oh, John the Revelator? Who's that right? John the Revelator. He wrote the book, yeah, of the seven seas. You know Christ, he had 12 apostles. Oh, Jesus, he sent away. He said, watch with me while I walk here, while I go yonder. Ah, yes, to pray. Tell me who's that writing is John the Revelator? Who's that writing? Oh, John the Revelator. Who's that writing is John the Revelator? He wrote the book of the seven seas. beat the morning. And Mary and Martha, they came down to see. He said, go tell Midas I will get all the way home. Yes, in Galilee. Tell me who's that right? It's John the Revelator. Who's that right? John the Revelator. Who's that right? John the Revelator. He wrote the book of the seven seals.
Yeah, beautiful stuff.
Thank you very much.
So give us a little bit of a background on Miss Lizzie and the Night Owls. How did you get together? What made you get together? Where did you find this love of old school swing?
Well, that is a story that dates back to uni. So I think it's about 5 years ago, possibly, maybe more. I was studying at Box Hill TAFE, doing a degree in music, and I was in a music class. It was a songwriting class, and we all had to bring in our favourite song. And you had one song, you had to pick one song, and you had to do a presentation where you played the song and everyone, critiqued it. And I brought in a song by Elvis Presley called If I Can Dream, which has been my favourite for my entire life. And the person before me actually got up to their presentation, and he was this weedy looking guitarist, and he'd brought in the same song. And he's actually, Liam, who's now a guitarist at the moment. So that's where it sort of started.
Okay.
So that's how the band kind of formed, and from there we kind of picked all the people that we wanted to play with. We went through, and sort of, obviously when you're at uni with a whole group of musicians, you've got a lot of people at hand that you can sort of talk to, and we kind of picked out all the people who like the same music as us.
Yeah, your style is sort of, I suppose, retro swing, you call yourself, but a really swinging sort of blues, jazzy style. Not a lot of people doing that sort of style, which is great. I mean, it's all blues to me, and it's just great to see another side of it.
Yeah, I guess, my dad's a blues musician, so I grew up with blues. I love that kind of thing, and so I brought that sort of angle into it. And Cam, is a boogie woogie pianist, so and it's kind of a collaboration of all our sort of different influences that make us us. Yeah,
that's fabulous. And you recorded you had a debut CD come out 2014, was it?
Yeah, it was now.
Introducing Miss Lizzie and the Night Owls. We're going to spin one off it later, but before that, we might get you to do a live one for us. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
What are you going to do?
So I've had a little bit of laryngitis over the last couple of weeks. So I've actually brought in our keys player, Mr. Cameron Fallor, who's actually a boogie woogie specialist. So we're going to do a song that we wrote, and it's called I'm Gone. So it's about, I guess, being a musician. You have lots of people in your life who are asking you to settle down, and when are you going to buy a house? When are you going to get married? And that's what this song's all about.
Okay, take it away.
You know I'm
Absolutely wonderful. Love that boogie woogie piano.
Thank you.
That's beautiful stuff. This man sitting beside me has spent the past 30 years touring Australia and Europe, recording with some of the biggest names in blues and rock, including musicians from Deep Purple, Robert Plant and Rory Gallagher's band. He's been special guest for Status Quo, Peter Green, Rory Gallagher, Buddy Guy, Mick Taylor, Johnny Winter, the Yardbirds, Canned Heat, and countless other musicians from all over the world. That is a damn fine CV, and it's my pleasure to welcome to Blues on the Hill, Gwyn Ashton. Welcome.
How's
to
it
the
going?
show. It is going well. Now, that's an incredible CV. Like, you know, do you sort of look back at that and sort of, you know, being among those sort of people, just say, wow, you know, what an incredible career you've had so far and still going.
Yeah, well, you know, you appreciate what's happened in the past, but you've got to keep sort of looking to the future.
You certainly
Really?
do. And now tell us about, you're a South Australian, you started in South Australia and then migrated to the UK. So just give us your backstory. Give us the Gwyn Ashton story.
I was actually born in Wales, and we migrated out here in '65,
Okay.
and then I spent 30 years sort of over here, and then went back over to England in '96, and I've been sort of just travelling around Europe and America a bit.
Okay.
So I was in Russia and Brazil, and
So you was
picking up bands and stuff.
so the South Australian side of it. Where's that connection then? You were
Well, I grew up in Adelaide.
okay.
Yeah, so I started playing guitar in South Australia, in Whyalla. We moved to Adelaide. I mean, we moved 28 times in 7 years.
Wow.
I had 21 schools, so between Adelaide and Perth. So, but I most of my time was in Adelaide, and that's where I sort of got my act together, really.
So
Then I moved to Sydney and Melbourne as well. In Sydney, I was there through the 80s. I played with Swanee and Stevie
Yeah.
Wright.
So take me back to the Adelaide blues scene when you were starting off. Who was around? What sort of what year are we talking, and what was it like?
Well, this is back in the 70s, I guess. I
Okay.
got taken my first blues band, Smokestack Lightning, an Adelaide band, sort of like a Chicago blues band. They were like a Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf
Yep.
sort of band. They were fantastic, and I was a kid, and I saw them, and I thought, wow, that's great. So that just changed my life. So the next day I went out and bought some vinyl, Blues Breakers, John Mayall, all the predictable stuff where you start, Fleetwood Mac, you know, and Peter Green, and then I sort of traced it back from there. I slowly got sort of back into, you know, Lightning Hopkins, Son House, and all those guys, Slim Harpo, and yeah, and then the electric plays. I mean, I was always into Rory and Roy Buchanan, Johnny Winter, and all those guys too. So it was a bit of a mixed bag of Delta and Chicago electric blues, and some Texas stuff as well.
And what about the scene back then? What was it like in Australia? There wouldn't have been a lot of blues in Australia in the 70s in South Australia. What was the scene like itself?
There were a lot of great players.
Yeah.
I mean, there still are. I really, because I was playing all the time, that's all I've ever done is just play guitar. So I went out to see a lot of people. You know, I saw Roy Buchanan when he came to town and whatnot. But I don't really remember many local blues bands. They were around because they were out there gigging, but I was sort of gigging myself.
So when you moved back to the UK, what about that scene? What was?
Actually, to answer that question, that the first sort of Chuck Berry was my first band act that I went to see. When I was 16 years old. I got my mum's car and went mad. Saw Chuck, and then I was down at the Richmond Hotel one night and I saw an Adelaide band called Mickey Finn. and Chris Finnan was supporting, and that kind of blew me away as well. So that was really cool. Chris was fantastic.
Yes,
player.
and still going strong. Absolutely wonderful blues man. I've seen him many times, and acoustically, of course, one of the best there is.
Oh, he's fantastic, you know. And we struck up a great friendship all those years ago, and we made a record.
You should. Well, while we're talking about it, we should talk about that record, because I'm going to spin a couple off it.
Last year I got inducted in the South Australian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which was really nice.
Fabulous.
And Chris had a part to do with that. So he said to me, why don't we make a record while you're here? And I've always got recording equipment on me. So we grabbed a few mics and my computer, and I bought this guitar just to do that. But it's funny because it wasn't supposed to end up freighted over from Sydney till the Monday. I got it from Mark Evans from AC/DC.
The National Resonator, the real thing.
It's a 1931. It was beautiful. I fell in love with it on my last tour here, and I resisted buying it the entire tour. And at the last minute, I just gave in. It was doing my head in, you know. So I said, yeah, send it over. It's probably too late for the recording, but it came 3 days early, and it just rolled up as I sat down to put some tracks down with Chris, and it rolled up at the door.
Fabulous.
I brought it in and went, here it is, and I went, oh wow, couldn't believe it.
Perfect timing, yeah. So tell us about the tracks and everything, because it has a real down on the porch theme, isn't it? Two guys sitting on the porch, just loving, just enjoying the blues for what it is, and just having fun. That's the feeling.
That was the idea of it. I mean, my own recorders, that's a collaboration album. My own recorded stuff goes a lot differently than that. You know, the last album, Radiogram.
Of course, you're
electric.
like a
rock album.
Yeah, blues rock. That's what I mean. From one extreme to another, but it shows the versatility.
I wanted to do something a little bit different, and it's very different because it's not just that. Because Chris also plays chumbush on it with a bow.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. There's some very interesting instruments. So explain these instruments to us.
Well, he started playing an African clay pot on one track, and then he got a violin bow out and bowed the chumbush, which is a Turkish aluminium sort of banjo, mandolin type thing. And Pete played upright bass.
Yeah, great sound, love the upright.
Yeah, and we recorded it on my laptop, and I've got a friend in England who's a great engineer, and he's engineering all my stuff at the moment. In fact, he's remixing, we're right in the middle of remixing and remastering my Prohibition album, which I recorded in Scotland 10 years ago with Chris Glenn and Ted McKenna from the sensational Alex Harvey band. You know.
Fabulous, yeah. Now you've got the resonator there. Do you want to play something for us? See what we have you here. Oh yeah.
Okay, the title track from Prohibition, I reckon. making me feel bad. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the best you've ever had. There's no need to make me bleed or treat me so unkind. I tried in vain to hide the pain, baby, it's just like all that this. I can't get to you, all that this. No matter what I do, all that this. Don't turn your head away, all that this. You might be my love someday. You all my heart and soul, but you left it all behind. I can see that loving me is the last thing on your mind. Girl, I told you I'm too old to join in on these games. Cause when I play, you get your way and shoot me down in flames. All that this, I can't get to you. All that this. No matter what I do, all in this. Don't turn your head away, all in this. You might be my love someday. Someday, baby.
Absolutely wonderful live blues, folks. Just beautiful, stomping national resonator guitar there. Absolutely wonderful, Gwyn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are back with Baz. You are listening to Blues on the Hill. It is the Oz Blues Hour. It is the Motor City Music Festival special. I've assembled all my guests and we're just going to jam out on something here while we're all here and just do some live blues. So Miss Lizzie is going to take it away and we'll just let him go for it. Enjoy. Absolutely wonderful. What a beautiful rendition. Thank you, Miss Lizzie. Thank you, Mick Dog. On the keys,
Cam Feller.
absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
And Gwyn Ashton, of course. We're going to go out with another one off the Gwyn Ashton CD.